the freezing cold.
Okay. That was an in-game chatter, but it got missed by like a second. Thank God for Pembasu's sake. But basically, Kino just responded, "We are live, by the way."
We're live, so don't say anything live that you wouldn't say off camera. Just don't be that guy.
Well, all the way around, right? Don't say anything off camera you wouldn't say live.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, don't do that kind of as like a general point anyway. But yeah, still. All right, Chalet for both squads. It's one that both of them have a 60% win rate or higher on for the course of this year. XSET got a good victory on it earlier this stage. DarkZero themselves have yet to play it, but they have not banned it very much, suggesting that their willingness to go to it is a lot higher. So if we take a couple of default ops off the board, it should be a relatively standard get.
You said default operator. They didn't take any operator off the board from XSET's defense.
As soon as I say that, you just straight up don't ban. XSET, I mean, what are you doing?
We do get the assignment of the board for the defending side, which makes the attacking job a lot easier to deal with, especially with the library clear that most teams prefer to go toward. We get a Nomad for the flank watch, the classic Nook ban that we have to see every single game. And then a no ban from XSET, which means both Valkyrie and Mira and Kite will be open, but so is Thatcher.
Dude, Kino wasn't kidding when he said have fun. They're going to do whatever they feel like on defense. I mean, yeah, no, for their sake, because they're on defense first, I guess the theory is why handicap ourselves when we know we're going to have advantage for this first half. For these first 6 rounds, we can kind of go around and do whatever we want. So I'm looking for the frisky picks. I'm looking for the ops that we usually don't see. If we end up seeing like a Tachanka on this map, I'm going to happy cry because it's last game of the season. We might as well see some ludicrous stuff come out of the woodworks here.
Same for the attacking side. I mean, I would like to see like a basement rush first round. Give me the glass, give me the Yang, go crazy.
Yeah.
DarkZero is a team, they're not known to go crazy overall. Like, they're normally like a very structured team that is arguably a bit more predictable, but they're so solid and in their fundamentals to play that consistent game of Rainbow Six Siege. And sure, they're in 8th place right now. They had a rough stage, but they did win the Charlotte Major. They did have a stellar stage 1 and stage 2, but with the roster changes between Hyper and Skies being changed throughout the season, that of course made things a little bit more difficult than it otherwise would have been for them.
Yaga wanting to get something outside game's window, won't find it. Everyone from DZ has already moved back along. DZ had a Lion in their back pocket. Instead, Eclipse makes the Thermite switch, and already garage door is open. There are no denial operators for XSET, in spite of no defensive ban. So that thing is going to get opened, and now DarkZero have a couple different avenues that they can push from. For XSET, top player is already on library stairs, moving way back down inside, and there's still a player up in library. So if DZ want the full clear as opposed to pushing onto site fast, I think they'll need to spend a little bit more time working on Melusi and the Jaeger before they move downstairs.
I fully agree, and I like that they open up the breach first. That establishes bomb site pressure, and now the roamers of XSET have to make that decision. Do we stay and roam aggressively, or does the bomb site need assistance sooner rather than later? And we see this response from XSET. They fall back only a minute into the round. Sure, Dokkaebi phone call comes out as well. Jackal sits on the table. Open a kill from Canadian onto Gomez. That's going to put DarkZero into a nice position. Yeah,
there were 3 roamers up for XSET. Gomez was the one who was cross-mapped, not working with either the Melusi or the Jaeger in that instance, which means now XSET's path or their ability to keep DarkZero hindered on the top floor is a little bit slowed, but not detrimentally. Spirits still has the option of rotating back inside, and Eclipse is in by himself, looking for an angle. Doesn't have a drone in front of him, doesn't have anything. Instead, face checks all the way to the staircase and confirms there is no one else back downstairs. So for XSET, if you're only losing 1 guy on the roam, I'd call that pretty influential.
It's not the end of the world, and I mean, the best thing about opening up that wall early if you're Eclipse's Thermite is that now you become like a free gun. Unless you want to open up a second wall or hatch, which isn't necessarily their priority right now by the looks of it, you can now enable Eclipse to also do some fragging of his own. And he's had a really good time in stage 3, finding those kills, and so has Skies.
All right, coming down the staircase himself, Skies in the hard breach trying to be the entry, but good trade. You don't see that very often. Kino didn't even have to hit a headshot because Skies was so low HP, but now we'll see how long XSET can defend for. A little ill-advised on the hatch drop. But now Spirits and DS both can hold for the next 37 seconds. Both Pamba and Eclipse still on full HP. Eclipse has the ability to plant. He'll do so with Pamba providing hatch cover. From the boat side, DS trying to deny. Does Eclipse have any HP off? He does. The double push down, but it does confirm it. Eclipse gets both by himself. Doesn't even have to worry about the additional cover from the hatch. He will do the whole thing by himself, and DarkZero started on top.
And I was telling you, Eclipse, when he's put into the position of needing to find kills or win gunfights, he does it time and time again throughout the entirety of this stage. I want to see a world where you take him off the hard support, put him on an entry or a second entry, and see what he can do. And it's something for in the European League, Playday from BDS, I've said that before as well, was like, put this man on an entry because they can do nasty things, because these are mechanically talented support players that just happens to play the supportive role, if anything.
Okay, so Mr. DZ content creator, man,
Okay.
if you suddenly step into Brandon Carr's shoes and you put Eclipse onto an entry role, who do you then put on support? How do you mix things up?
Well, the thing is, right, there is the question about Skies staying or leaving. So there is this world where theoretically you could get a support player instead of Skies, enable Eclipse more if you wanted that to be the case.
Yeah.
But it also depends, is Skies going to stick around? Because as you mentioned on the desk, Invitationals are on the corner. And he would like to keep that streak up, I imagine, for himself to attend every single event. At least for the SIs. So you could do a couple of things. I mean, all know Canadian is very flexible. I know that he hates playing the support role. He wants to have more of an actual flex voice in the team. And right now in Amaru, he could not do that if he was the support player. But you never know.
I mean, he did win a hammer playing
He
support.
did win a hammer playing support.
He did do that.
He has been known to play, you know, also like a supportive defensive cast and playing Pulse, signature operator back in the day as well.
Yeah.
So we know he can do it. Just not as fun.
What were you playing when you won 2019?
I was technically a flex player back then, technically
that's
speaking. Fair. But also the meta was so different, like the roles weren't as defined, it was more loose. I feel like nowadays, roles are much more defined by most teams at least than what operators you can and cannot play.
Yago will start things out. Library defense to hold games for as long as possible. He has ADS coverage. Gomez holding the standard spot. Top fireplace with shield with additional my magnets in store. But Canadian wants to work Solarium over, understanding a roamer will still maintain pressure up top that can also help with the library push at the same time. So DZ's first objective is to clear top floor before going for a site hit, because there's just too many things to pay attention to before you worry about the execute. Has looked for where the Malusi's hiding, isn't going to pop up, and Spirits manages to get out of dodge, but only for a second. He's just caught in the connector, and he will work his way all the way back up.
I am surprised that Canadian didn't go for a flashbang or try and bait out the fact that, you know, either the person moves or you'll be flashbang and stuck to that ground and area. Instead, the pre-fire, you know, gives away that fact that he knows the whereabouts of Spirits, and he runs away instead and gets out alive, although with a bunch of damage being taken toward him. Other than that, DC, they gotta keep moving.
We're looking for DarkZero to continue to set the pace. They did that already nice for the first round. Spirits grabs Canadian, so you have that entire roam clear idea completely nullified at this point, and Spirits can still maintain this entire north side part of the top floor. So now as DarkZero moves in, that's still something that they'll have to deal with. The idea might be for Spirits to make a rotate back because he is on low HP, but he won't have to do that for the next little while, up until this push comes through. NJR finally gets Yaga off Library Hatch, and gotta love those observer things that throw your character completely out of whack here. But at least for DarkZero's sake, they've evened the odds, but they will need to push faster here.
And dude, pacing is something that for DarkZero has been a big question mark for them throughout the stage. Are they too slow sometimes? Well, yeah, but Pamasu finds that kill and a second team kill from Kino as well. What?
Okay.
And everyone's dead.
It's just Diaz in the middle of a fight that definitely should have belonged to XSET as they were making the push over. He's got to find 4. He's already got Library completely surrendered to DarkZero. He's looking for an angle back down Fireplace if he can nab it. But DarkZero themselves will also need to make a coordinated push. Diaz, technically, if they all drop from the hatch, I think he's got an angle to make it work, either from the one in Library or otherwise, but no one's really made a play for sight yet. Finally, there's one back in default. It looks like Eclipse might be going for the plant spot first. Oh, no, he downs Diffuser. He still had it. The guy with Diffuser went and tried to claim the last kill, and it almost is a nightmare for DarkZero if they don't have someone there to cover for it, but luckily they do, and now they're up 2-0.
They might be listening after all, because Eclipse is getting all of that action right now, trying to get into gunfights and having a great time, but with 5 seconds left on the clock, that right there could have been a disaster if Pamba wasn't there for a quick trade afterwards.
He's trying to do his best Forrest impression, apparently. Get all the frags on support. He's doing his best.
I mean, the thing about Forrest is that he will just find himself in the midst of the bomb site, seemingly out of nowhere, and it just works. And I don't understand it watching it ever, but it's beautiful to watch.
It was the kind of play that Drip had back when he played for beastcoast, and it's a mentality I like, playing super aggro support, or at the very least getting done what you need to get done when you're playing one of those roles. If it's opening a wall, if it's utilizing your smokes, if you're playing Capitao, and then going off and finding kills. It's not that you have to be the one tasked with doing the dirty work and then planting. You definitely can have some fun here and there.
especially right now. I mean, I don't think the meta has ever been as aggressive, but like calculated aggression, if anything, because like back in the day, people would just play more sloppy. Like this, like 2017, 2018, 2019 Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone just played much more loose and sloppy, and we weren't as defined in our playstyles. Whereas now it's like calculated aggression, where you say, okay, we're gonna send these 4 roamers around the map of Chalet with 1 guy holding the basement bomb site, for example. It's calculated and decisive. And it's a play style that you feel like, okay, the attackers and attacker repick, they have so many different ways to, you know, pick apart the map. We need to stop them early in the round, and that's why we see Yogg, for example, smoke with FMG, going for aggressive peaks, potentially if there's an enemy there, because you have to.
Look, man, you're not supposed to do that. I get the smoke FMG play, but there are some things you just can't do. And he dies for it. With all 3 Toxic Babes in his pocket, looks for spawn peak and gets demolished by a DMR. That is a problem. Or wait, not a DMR. Was it Skies who got that?
It was Skies that got the kill.
It looked like a DMR for a second.
I actually thought it was Dokubi that got the kill on the top right as well from the DMR. So
right, exactly.
The same thing in my head.
For XSET, I think the biggest thing, they're just not doing a whole bunch to like stop this intel. There's so much of it. It's the Lion scans. It's all the drones being used by DarkZero, who themselves have always been fantastic at ascertaining where these defenders are. And you lose Kino in the process, so you've lost an anchor, you've lost a roamer, you're already dropping, I think, too many bodies to make this round salvageable, but DarkZero's pushes sometimes when they worry about the execute and they try to focus on too many things at once, it definitely could come back to bite them here.
It could. The great thing for DarkZero, however, is that they have so much time left on the clock. Minute and 35 seconds to go. They don't even have to worry about their own if they don't want to, but the Frost Trap and Diaz together combined, they find a free kill onto Kino. Got a little bit too aggressive.
Looking to at least hold off from Trophy as well. NJR, when he makes the vault in, he's definitely going to have to look for the Frost Mat as well. We saw a couple people earlier in the day be apprehensive, look at the Frost Map, but then not actually shoot it as they were moving through windows, so you have to be a little bit more careful. He does get inside, nab Spirits, and now both Gomez and Diaz have it to do. They can hold each other's crosses, but they're not defending the bomb site proper, so they will have to move. Drone comes back in, Gomez has a nice kill, but again, there's the trade. NJR's got perfect coverage back from Trophy window. Now Diaz, if he wants to move in, maybe he's got a shot. He'll move back inside connector, and he'll stay alive for now. But Habana's going to move right in, find that frag. Skies gets the first one and the last one, and DZ are not to be stopped in this one, it looks like.
It looked like Eclipse made a massive mistake there, droning on the Solarium stairs, whereas NGR on the Trophy window, who's just a little bit too slow for the trade, or at least to save him rather, but the trade did come through in the end. So it's a nice 1-for-1 at the worst for DarkZero, and it's once again their fundamentals kind of shining through. XSET are just kind of lashing out, trying to pick fights 24/7 across the entire map, and they're not really doing the calculated aggression part, because they're not really sending 2 members to fight one enemy of DarkZero. It's just kind of Kino and Yogg looking for individual gunfights and not ending up winning them.
Right, they're not looking for the roam clear and trying to isolate the 1v1s, and I think a big telling part about this game for XSET, they're down 3-0, didn't use their timeout. They've already been like, well, it's not to say that they're writing the game off, but they may be in such a no-pressure situation right now where that's not so much their concern. They don't need a breather to figure out what's going on. I think they fully understand what's going on. If we're seeing Yaga FMG smoke spawn peak in 30 seconds, I think they have full understanding of what situation they're in, but they're not that concerned with it. So on their side of things, I want these spawn peaks to work out. If one wants to get crazy with it, you might as well get something back for the effort that you put in.
No, I mean, for sure. Also, if you end up getting a successful spawn peak, it's going to force DarkZero to play slower pace. Right? You can't just sprint toward the building because you'll die. So we see Kenan already now in spawn, precautiously looking at the windows, the doors, etc. to make sure that there aren't any spawn peaks happening, because even though they haven't died to them yet, they know that they're occurring almost every single round.
For DZ, it looks like it's basically as it's gone for this whole game and just how DarkZero plays, and yet again, they're the ones to open things up. Kino has been ineffectual this game so far. In spite of playing on a roam role, not able to do anything for these last couple of rounds. Yaga wanting to get something himself, but he'll get swarmed on here. I think one was coming mud, and he will have plenty of ops coming from several different angles to stop him, because now the roam for XSET's been pulled back, and it looks like it's been pulled back rather early. No one else from the team is anywhere on the top 2 floors aside from maybe hugging the staircases right now.
Yeah, it's just like the downside of losing a member early is that you don't really have the leverage to stay for much longer. You also know that the odds are there's going to be a Jack on the board, because that's when the DC loves to play. They played it earlier today as well in this game. And Pampersu is in fact on that operator, so if you stick around with it too long, too aggressively, you will just be an isolated member. And then again, you're playing 3 versus 5. So cut your losses, play the 4v5 instead, play together, make DC drone out the entirety of the map, check for footsteps, etc. Make them go through that 1, 2, 3 execution step, which is like getting open the breaches, the hatches, etc. And then see where you can find somebody isolated. For example, Canadian.
Pressure from Trench side. He will grab Gomez as he moves right in, just trying to see if he can't sell him with the walls. He is now out of them, though, which means Wine and the main garage wall are secure for XSET and can't get taken out unless Eclipse moves into a position backstairs to work on it. But he is instead main, looking for a pick from that side. He's got Diffuser, might be looking to plan on the same spot he did on default back in round 1, but now there's a bit of disruption. Yaga can move in, Skies gets knocked out and taken down by Yag, and will continue to maintain this spot in spite of getting Jackal trapped. Canadian is making this work out from the backstairs. Panma's going to get this ping onto where he knows Yaga has to be sitting, but I think if anyone moves, it will be Panma to get this kill, or Yaga will find the refrag, but he's not the only one they have to pay attention to. Yaga comes right back, knows he has to use it for the distractionary cause, doesn't get it instead. Diaz and Yaga, little time left to actually keep this denial from going off, but Eclipse is planning in the exact same spot, so now they'll have to hold this one off. Waiting for it. Eclipse is going to stick on the diffuser itself, and he will keep on finding these frags. He's the everything man on this bomb site for DarkZero, and NJR will clean things up. That's 4 in a row now for DZ.
Yep, every single time things look a bit dire, DC, they bring it back, and XSET, they're not finding as much value as they want. There's a nice isolated kill onto Skies in the blue stairs, but then you're stuck in a corner, and even though York won the gunfight against Pambasu, baiting it nicely with that Jackal scan right here, it doesn't end up paying it out for them, because while that's occurring, you got the rest of DC walking through side, establishing a plant in a crossfire, and then we see it, Eclipse plants the exact same location, same kind of coverage, and successful round for DarkZero, 4-0.
Getting some crazy deja vu from this already, man.
Yeah.
XSET themselves, same bomb site rotation, same plan for DZ.
This is spicy.
That is a Cav and a Doc and a Capcan.
Yep.
What on earth am I watching?
I mean, the Capcan we can write off as like, they're just playing around the traps, because like, that's a thing, right?
That's fine.
But the Caveira and the Doc, I mean, Diaz has been promoted, like that good old meme goes, 92 Dream Team, right? He is now the Doc player. But Spirits is going to play a Chalet Caveira, which is something that is unheard of, basically.
All right. I'm curious if Chalet Cav has a 100% or a 0% win rate after this round. It's not the first time we've seen XSET play Doc, funnily enough. That was when Yaga played it on Villa from Stage 2, when he played it with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We don't have a shotty here, but I definitely think this is a like determinant of where XSET's mindset is at right now. I think Spirits just shotgunned a bit of Yaga's HP off in the process?
It's very possible.
Where's it going to play? All right, everyone, write this down. If you want to play Cav in your ranked games, do exactly what Spirits is doing this round.
Hide in the bathtub?
Hide in the bathtub. Do exactly what most Cav players do until they think the site is clear, then flank late. That's exactly how you play Cav.
And then half the time, you know, enemies are going to be on the bomb side, you're 1 versus 4, or you might get an interrogation, win the entire round for your team. It's either or.
All right, so if Bathroom doesn't get you any kills, go under Trophy Window.
Become the Frost Trap.
Become the Frostmat, basically, yeah.
I mean, the story here is writing itself. I mean, everyone's dying besides Spirits, who's yet to find that interrogation, and no one's really near him either.
He's determined to get this late flank off. NJ
He's
finds
gonna be
Kino.
1v5.
He will be. It's literally the Doc and the Cav are the only 2 ones left. Doc is the one on site looking for anything here. No, sorry. Doc isn't even in that position either. Oh, Cav looking for a frag or just looking to escape?
He's out.
Escape will be the play instead.
But he's back.
But oh, just one of those things. Diaz has to find 5 kills now with Doc. It's either a superb Cav play or a Doc ace. We'll see if the distraction works out. Instead, Panmazoot gets down from a Capcan trap, and DarkZero finish off the meme play. I think they also know XSET's not really taking this one too seriously.
Yeah, I think DarkZero now knows exactly where XSET is coming from, seeing that operator lineup. But the thing is, and I mean, there's ways to go about this. You can either say, I want DC to match the energy from XSET and have a really good time and show us crazy stuff. Or you can say, I want DC to just end it right here, right now, because otherwise we could go all the way to OT if things get too funny.
Look, this is a meme game. We've already established it, but Mint is allowed to smile. He's allowed to not look stressed while his team plays. Like
I think Mint, like most coaches, like speaking from like Shaz's perspective as my former coach, is that he's not really worried about this game. He's like, oh snap, we got invite coming up, who's playing, what are we doing, what's the strat's gonna be like, what group are we gonna be in? Like, you're always thinking what's next, right? You might be thinking, surely they get a break because they didn't make the major, etc. The thing is, for most teams, when you don't qualify for something, it's almost like, sure, you get a break, but now there's even more motivation, but also more work usually required to catch back up to speed. You can't take it slow because you didn't qualify. You gotta actually speed up and get back on the horse. So I think Mintz he's already working that in his head.
The thing about this is for XSET, I hate to break it to you, but we do still have to do statistics for this game, which means
ugly.
when we start getting into SI territory and we start looking at how did these teams rank on attack and defense, their defense rating was already like 8th place. Now it's going to plummet even more. Unfortunate for XSET.
Maybe this is a 200 IQ play, right? Because if we're doing analytics on it, I mean, show their opponents, right? So they feel, they suck on Chalet defense. Let's take them to Chalet.
Yeah.
And then you see the real XSET show up to the party, and all of a sudden, they're actually not that bad at defending Chalet.
I was going to say, this also probably, if DarkZero ends up winning this game, would also tank XSET's win rate on this map. It was already at like 60%. Now it's going to be 50. They're going to be 3-3 on it for the year. That's if DarkZero are able to close this thing out in quick time. For XSET, it's basically the same thing they've been running when they've not been memeing around. Yaga's still playing FMG Smoke, still only got 2 frags. Kino upstairs looking to deny up top for as long as possible. And if XSET relinquish this massive head start they've given DZ, that's going to be a problem.
No, it would be. Absolutely. And DC are still playing it slow because for once, XSET are not really giving them any kills now running into their crosshairs. They're sitting nice inside the bomb site, or around the map, should I say, rather. They're out downstairs inside of kitchen. Roam up above goes for a swing. No damage goes through. Kino still looking for some roaming success. Yet to find it. DarkZero, they really are just holding on angles, waiting for something to go on. But XSET, they're matching that same energy, not moving too much.
Yeah, it is nice when you don't lose a player immediately, and then you have to start thinking about what your fallback positions are like and when you need to retreat. Instead, everyone for XSET is still alive, but now DarkZero has to spend even more time clearing and less worrying about exactly what the execute's going to look like. Gomez will shoot drones. That's the second line in charge for Eclipse. It's going to hold everyone in place for just a second. And Canadian is going to hold off, and he will find Spirits as soon as he whips around the windowsill. He almost dies there. Spirits would love to find a kill on this roam. Everyone from XSET is negative right now. And if he's able to do it, it should give XSET a much bigger leg up. Vault over Solar Stairs might mean there's a flank happening here. Does Pam have any idea that there is one behind him? No, because that position has already been cleared out by DZ. 3 players left. Spirits knows it was a nice frag.
A lot of nice comments in chat here with nice shots and whatnot. And the Canadian himself has been hitting and winning almost every single gunfight he's been in today so far. Next set, they're trying to find some of their own, but it's a 3v5 with 25 on the clock.
Waiting for the push back down. Ooh, Diaz very nearly gets his head taken off. Ooh, a little bit of a miscommunication, almost a team kill in the head. Pamba will make the push instead. Diaz wants to prone. There is a response back, probably playing the long angle. There are some kills immediately at 2v2. NJ wants the pursuit. If he can get the kill downstairs, then they can transition to site. They don't even have diffuser in their pocket. It got downed. XSET's first round comes from not having diffuser in the right spot, and it's a 5-1 half. XSET, I don't even think they were expecting to win that one.
The win off the clock, but that is also a way to win. A little bit of celebration there. It's 5 on the board, and I mean, that's one round. I mean, we got more to go, of course, but you got to be happy with what you get here. Now we got to see if XSET are going to be as crazy on their attacking side as they were on their defense. The thing about explosiveness is that for the attacking side, it actually can work quite well because it's so unpredictable. Whereas on the defending side, I mean, you're always going to be roam clearing as an attacker. So DarkZero can roam clear any kind of aggressive play that XSET makes a move for. But if we see Spirits on Blitz, and we see the rest of XSET just follow up, you can't really prepare for that. You just got to look at what happens and then try and play it out in the moment. So I'm curious if
you said Spirits on Blitz. I'm now waiting for you to like summon that. I'm like waiting for it to come out now.
So unironically, Spirits for stage 3 of NAL has been more of a multiplayer than a Blitz player.
Yeah.
Probably because he started to realize how difficult it is to bring the Blitz, at tier 1 level of play. You just die instantaneously. And the Monty's had mixed success when he played it. It was mostly in Villa when he brought it out. But I know that it's something that he could bring if he truly wanted to.
Last time XSET played Chalet, it was that initial week of Beast Coast trying to figure out if Chalet was good with their coach, and it was a really fast game. It was like a 7-1, 7-2. And this was when Spirits, somebody had to take something that wasn't Finca originally. Gomez is taking it right here, but that's for the aim mitigation and the buff and the health as opposed to the weapon. Spirits had to take something that wasn't Finca if there wasn't a Yana in play, and it was Buck, which on this map is fantastic if you're looking for some of these angles. Arguable on this site in particular because you're not worried about vertical nearly as much, but it feels like this is kind of a comfort pick for Spirits this stage.
Oh, certainly, certainly. I mean, the Buck also has the Gun 6 now. I think that's like, if you know, if you're a player inside the server, you want to have tools to deal with the problems in front of you. Giving Buck the Gun 6, which he received recently, just means that you can now deal with so much verticality, self-destruction, you have flashbangs, all heart breach, and you have the Gun 6. You can do so many things, and Spirits is the kind of player who wants to have options, right? Be able to deal with issues that might arise.
Still lots of utility that DarkZero have, that XSET have to clear. Not only the bulletproof, but it's one shield from Canadian. You've got the one mine discs, and then another bulletproof specifically in Skies' back pocket. And speaking of Skies, down goes the other player we were just talking about. Spirits is no longer on the board. And XSET still have plenty of things they have to worry about clearing before they can make this push work out. Diaz can advance up Solar. There's a little bit less pressure on that side of the map before they make the push over, but as far as XSET's concerned, it needs to happen a little bit faster here. The roam for DZ is practically everywhere. If you can get Canadian and Kitchen, that's a phenomenal first pick, but instead, it's the counter immediately. DarkZero are landsliding this thing. Gomez isn't even looking in the right direction. Eclipse with a long shot with the shotgun, and it's only Kino. A 1v5 with 5 defenders on full HP. But if he gets this, he keeps DZ off match point.
Yeah, if he gets it. I mean, that's a very tall task ahead of you. But anything is possible in the game of Rainbow Six Siege, especially if you give him the 1v1s. It's a 50-50 gunfight. Kino can win those. But can he do it 5 times in a row? That is the question. First one might appear.
All right. First one. Come around, swing.
Oh, 2 at once.
Come on, swing. Somebody swing Kino. Somebody swing. That's a free kill. You know exactly where he is. He shot cam. You know where he is. And will I swing? There we go.
It's everybody swinging. Out the window, swing the door, inside of library, and as you said, Mint not really too happy about that still.
No, I mean, I'm sure he's happy, but he's just not going to let anything show. That stoicism will remain on his face for as long as this game progresses. And I mean, hey, he's looked really dapper today. We obviously had call out with like the tie with the shirtless vest, which was crazy. Has every single coach so far today actually done suits like Larch was hoping? As
far as I have seen, I haven't seen every game, but as far as I've seen, I have not yet been like, oh, you're not wearing a suit today. What's up?
I know Garrett did. I know Pojo. Yeah. Pojo in a suit
Pojo
is a very interesting sight. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It was lovely to see.
It was great. It's like an image I've just never burned into my brain until the first game this morning, so that was curious. And then obviously everyone on the talent team still did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Larch, for making us dress up for the last day of the NAL this year. Really appreciate it.
It's fun because I brought up the question like 2 weeks ago, like, oh, do we dress up for last day? People go, nah, we're not going to do anything. And then it gets brought up that we should because Larch is like, yeah, let's do a suit day. And now everyone's doing it. So yeah, thank you very much because I think it's fun to do a little last Playday thing, you know?
It's true. And DarkZero certainly have put on their Sunday best as they are just out here punishing XSET's ridiculous plays.
I'll one-up you. I said Blitz or Monty. They're bringing both.
Oh
it's going to be Spirits and Gomez, the shield duo with glass and smoke grenades from Yage to follow. It's going to be a garage, main breach, 5-man chaotic execute, and the round will be over in 60 seconds from now.
All right, no denial. They've already ascertained that's not there. They don't have any EMP nades, though to be fair, there is a mute. Does he have a position? Is there no mute jammer on this wall, or has it already been destroyed? I think they're in position trying to make sure that they can get this shield rush to work. He's got it. Here comes the wall. And
wait, he's not. Wait, that's such a tease.
Wait, what the heck?
He's standing still.
He's not rushing, except they're going to go backstairs.
So they're faking the backside execute instead?
And he's just going to run right through. Malusi drops back down. Immediately the glass dies, but DS still has blue cover. Canadian finds that other frag, and suddenly they're actually in position to plant, but Yaga's not over here where Gomez has already cleared out wide, and Spirits is the other one still up top. Blitz fight with them. No, he's got the coverage. Somebody has to die here instead. It'll be Spirits to clean Panamazu up. Can he get them both? It's not going to happen. It was so close. But instead, it's still Yaga with cover from the Monty. Has the ability to plant instead. Eclipse comes back around. It's up to Gomez to clutch 2v1 and potentially plant this thing. The rush strat with double shields from XSET. Really went into their back pocket of the playbook to pull this one out, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. Canadian grabs the last kill. DarkZero finished their season with a victory. They secure themselves at minimum 5th place in Stage 3. And just like that, the North American League in 2022 has come to a close.
That is I love that final round for everything that it was, but also